make them earn their money, don't we, Matty? It's a long day at the office. It's a little bit longer for the drivers that we grab for commentary. But, Fabian, this is the third of 3 races for Carrera Cup. Sonic's team, 1, 2, 3. The first time they've ever done that in Carrera Cup yesterday. That's the in-car we'll have with David Wall. But Dean Fiore has taken 2 race wins. He'll start from pole with Bryce Washington. And James Moffat third. First time at the mountain. That's impressive.
It's a very impressive achievement, that, because it's a very tricky joint. You know, there's 23 corners and it's hard to get it all right.
James Kandouris is the best of the Pilatus Challenge runners, the non-professional drivers over the age of 30. Hold the phone. Hang on 1 second. You are seeing correct. Craig Baird is starting 13th, which I don't think has happened for light years in Carrera Cup. Yesterday he started from the front row and received a drive-through for a creep on the start line. So he will start from 13th. We'll keep an eye on him. But, of course, he has wrapped up the championship. There he is in race 1 this weekend. He has now enough of a margin before we go to Indy in 2 weeks' time that he cannot be beaten. And he is now the first 2-time champion. You know what it takes to win this championship. You did it back in 2005. It is really tight.
It is one of the toughest championships in the world because all the cars, they're all equal. They all come out of the Porsche factory within 3 horsepower of one another. And, you know, at the end of the day, it comes down to your driving and ability.
Now, we're forming a tradition with Carrera Cup as the curtain raiser to the Super Cheap Auto Bathurst 1000. For the last 5 years, the Porsches have been the one before the big one. Bryce Washington on the front row, James Moffat, a fantastic start. But Washington on the outside of Fiore. The Sonic boys are 1, 2, 3 for the climb up Mountain Straight. Aaron Carratti's next. Rodney Forbes was sideways on the exit of turn 1, and Fiore staying to the right-hand side of the road.
Yeah, it's, I think it's probably the smoother part of the road. It's out of the bumps and gets you a good terminal velocity by the end of turn 1.
Washington second. Then it's James Moffat. David Russell's 5th. David Wall right front. Locked right up there, but he made it through Cat Corner. And Craig Baird, there he is, look, lights are on, coming through. And that's Barton Moore, his teammate from the Peter Fitzgerald team. And he wants Bart to get the heck out of the way. What a sound. The 400 horsepower GT3 Cup cars across the top of the mountain. And this is where they're really in their element.
Yeah, exactly. The cars are so stiffly sprung and they've got a high mid-corner speed, and I think that's the unique part about Porsche.
David Russell pressuring Aaron Carratti. Russell has lost third in the championship to Bryce Washington, who's had a great weekend, a third and a second so far. Now the elbow. Max Twigg with a problem. The right rear on the Trulock Porsche is punctured. And that will be a long, long trip back to pit lane. But it's the Sonic boys out in front. Fiore, Washington, James Moffat. That name so synonymous with this mountain. And these cars through the chase are really on edge. And look at Russell pressuring here. The switchback manoeuvres on because Carratti's struggling at the mid-corner.
Yeah, it looked like it was a little bit weak under brakes compared to Russell as well, but, you know, he covered his line well and, you know, Russell didn't get past.
The top 3 have started to sprint. Oh, Russell loses the rear, just trying a little bit too hard.
Yeah, well, like I said before, the Porsche is such a unique car and, you know, the speed's very, very similar to the car in front of you. So basically you've got to make the car in front, push him into a mistake, and then that gives you an opportunity.
Here's Craig Baird. He is 8th in the race, right behind Rodney Forbes. One of the main issues with these cars, talking to a lot of the guys who step into the V8 supercars, in the Porsche, the harder you drive it, the more it rewards you. But the harder you drive the V8 supercar, it goes the other way.
Yeah, definitely. These cars, they're so stiff and you can really wrestle them to get the speed out of them.
Now Baird is through on Forbes. Next on the hit list is Rodney Jane. He's had a really great weekend, so solid, a pair of 7ths. This is the first turn. David Wall on the inside, contact with Rodney Forbes. Wall driving this year for Jim Richards' team, but he is in the pit, so his luck goes from bad to worse. But Fiore looking for the clean sweep this weekend. He's 2nd in the championship. He cannot beat Baird. but he can seal the runner-up spot. Forex gold backhand, the run down to the elbow. And Carrera is the fastest on this lap to the first sector. There's David Wall, Carl Batson and the crew, changing that right front tyre from the contact at turn 1. The mountain was kinder to David earlier in the year. He started from pole at the Bathurst 12 hour, but it has been the season that hasn't quite been for him. But look at Moffat now, all over the back of Bryce Washington. There's something in the genes, something in his surname. First time here now, Washington peels off to pit lane. And that, no doubt, should be a penalty because it did look like he did move on the line. Now, Baird is through on Jane, so he picks up one more spot and he'll get a freebie because Washington's in the pits.
Yeah, that's it. You know, we all saw on the start that, you know, Washington did move before the lights went out, so unfortunate for him, but he'll have some work to do to catch up.
Carrera, fastest man to the sector last time around, but Russell is the fastest man on the track, 2 minutes 12.43. The lap record, 2 minutes 10.24 from Alex Davison in 2006. Washington taking the drive-through penalty, and that ruins what would have been...
Let's get as many points as we can.
Would have been a podium finish. But here's the fight for third. Carrera and Russell, the run towards Reed Park. Max Twigg has made it back. That's a long way to limp on a shattered tyre.
Definitely, it would have been the longest lap of Mount Panorama in a while.
A little bit smoky too. Carrera under real pressure. David Russell moved to the Peter Fitzgerald team for the last round at Phillip Island and has really stepped it up.
While these two guys are battling, it's definitely giving Beardo an opportunity to catch up.
He's not too far away. He was 3 seconds behind at the line last time around. Darren Henderson in the pits as well. That is one of the Greg Murphy racing cars. They've had a shocking weekend. Peter Hill crashed in qualifying. The car too badly damaged to take any further part. And Henderson, the Kiwi, who is making his debut in the Australian Series, steps out. Look at Carrera's car bouncing through the sweeper. There's something going on up in front as well. Russell's in the dirt. They're playing for keeps in race 3.
Yeah, definitely. It's a bit exciting, isn't it?
Oh boy, there was a lock-up going on a little further up the road. It's a bit hard to tell whether it was Fiore or Moffat, but everyone was in the chase, and you could see how stiffly sprung these cars are. That car of Carrera's launched off the curb through the chase.
It's nearly airborne, so it does show you how stiff they are, and you know, you've got to get it 100% accurate through the chase because you're going that fast. You've got a huge braking at the end of that, into Conrod straight through the chase, and if you don't get it wrong, it puts you 3 feet wide and you can't pull it up for the next one.
Dean Fiore leading the way. The margin is 1.7 seconds back to James Moffat, but the fastest man on the track is Craig Baird. He's 5th and chasing them down. Supreme slow-mo camera at the mountain, capturing the right rear Michelin of Max Twigg's Porsche. Off the rim, he is back in the race, but the man who is racing is Craig Baird, the champ-elect. This was moments ago as he pressured down in the chase. David Russell got through on Aaron Carrera, and his Fitzgerald teammate Craig Baird followed him through. But the problem for them is that they are a few seconds down the road from James Moffat and this man, Dean Fiore, who leads the way. The big one, the Super Cheap Auto, Bathurst 1000. It's coming up. It's only 90 minutes away, and Craig Baird will switch to V8 Supercar mode and team up with Glenn Seaton in the second of the Toll Holden Racing Team Commodores. And that's something you've done before, Fabian. You jumped from the Porsche into the V8 Supercar, vice versa, all weekend. Is it as difficult as it seems?
Oh, I think it was more difficult when I did it because we had the different version Porsche, which was a 996, which was H-pattern gearbox and no and the ABS brakes. So that in itself something to get used to. Now the 997's got the sequential gearbox, no ABS brakes, so it's more similar to a V8 supercar.
Just quickly, position 9 today with the Glenford's Falcon. You're teaming up with Alex Davison. The link here, you're both former Carrera Cup champions. How's the car? You ready to go?
Oh, I think, you know, we're ready as ever. It's probably the best package we've been given in our V8 supercar careers. So we've got to make the most of the opportunity and bring it home by the end of the 1,000K race.
David Russell, so wide on the exit of the cutting there. Just missed the wall, but he is the fastest man on the track. Last time around 2:11.23. And he still can't get away from Craig Baird, though.
I think Beardo's trying to give him a hurry up, so David Russell's got no choice but to put the foot down.
Baird started 13th. He cannot be beaten for the championship with 1 round to go in a fortnight's time, supporting the big event on the Gold Coast, the Nikon Indy 300 with the V8 Supercars and the IRL IndyCar Series. And Russell just a little bit ragged across the top.
Yeah, a little bit, but, you know, he's doing everything he can to catch the cars in front. He's got Beardo breathing down his neck, and I believe you me, Beardo wants to get past.
Aaron Carrera is still in position 5. But Russell has really stepped it up. He's had a 9th and a 5th this weekend. He was dicing for the lead in race 1, but spun at the cutting. So this has been something of a recovery from not just Craig Baird, but also from David Russell.
Yeah, no, I believe he's done a very good job. And, you know, with spinning in race 1, when you're leading, it's, you know, it's one of those things where you're always trying to extend the lead and get as far ahead as you can. But he's done a very good recovery, and he's showing he's got plenty of car speed here.
They're setting out on lap 7 in this last one. Oh, Carrera off the road in the background. Now, has he ended up in the sand while that's happening? Baird is pouncing at turn 1. Russell leaves the door. Craig locks a brake. And it turns into a drag race back up the mountain.
Yeah, I think Russell gave it to Craig a little bit easy there and could have defended that probably a little bit harder than he did.
Now, Baird has the inside for turn 2. Russell, the outside. And this one is Craig's corner.
You'd have to be a brave man to drive around the outside of Beardo.
Brave or silly? Or both?
Both.
So Baird from 13th to 3rd. This is a great warm-up for the V8 race this afternoon. They're just reeling in James Moffat, who's lapping in the 2-minute 12s. These guys have been consistently in the 2-minute 11-second bracket. So there's still some time here that they could reel in the Bob Jane Team Art Sonic Porsche. The Sonic team are going V8 racing next year. It's been announced that they will take over the 2 current Team Vodafone BF Falcons and join the Fujitsu Series next year. They'll still run in this category Carrera Cup and also Formula Ford. But it's a big step up. Bryce Washington will drive one of the cars. There's a seat vacant for next year in the second car. And David Russell's already confirmed that he'll be heading to the Fujitsu Series next year, joining with Howard Racing, who of course have had a great weekend. They wrapped up the round in the Fujitsu Series with Dean Canto yesterday. But Baird is on the charge here. With just over a lap to go, he still could take second.
Yeah, it's definitely looking like he's catching the cars in front. I think, you know, maybe Moffat's looking in his mirrors, can see Beardo that's coming, so I think he's just got to concentrate on the road in front and try not to worry about the cars catching him from behind.
Now, Fiore has picked the best track and the best weekend. Yellow flag on display. That is for the Aaron Karate car, which is bunkered here at the last corner, so no passing zone. Once they get the green flag here, they're good to go. Moffat has 1 lap left, but he's got a problem. It's black and it's called Baird.
It's going to have to be 1 defensive lap sitting where he is. Good run out of turn 1.
It'll all be across the top of the mountain. Baird's been coming here since the late 80s. Moffat has just turned up.
I wasn't even born in the 80s.
We won't tell Craig that. Now Baird puts the nose in at the cutting and shows the rookie the front of the Peter Fitzgerald Porsche. Fiore is clear by 5.5 seconds. He's on target for the perfect weekend, a clean sweep of the 3 races, and what a place to do it at Mount Panorama on the biggest stage of the year. Baird over the curb on the run towards McPhillamy. Moffat, the exit curb at McPhillamy. That's a sign that you're pushing.
Yeah, definitely. You know, all these 3 cars are doing, you know, relatively same lap times, and it's going to be an interesting last couple of corners, I can assure you.
Now, the elbow is critical for Moffat. He needs a good exit. He goes a little bit defensive, locks a brake. This could hurt because Baird has the prime run off the elbow and will tuck up behind the rear wing of the Bob Jane T-Mart's Porsche. He's right now in the slipstream toe, and he wants the maximum effect as Moffat just drifts to the left of the road. So watch for Baird, under brakes into the left-hander. Moffat's deep, and he'll cover the line, but he just needs to look after the switchback for the last corner. So Moffat hanging tough. His teammate Dean Fiore, awesome weekend. The Western Australian, 3 in a row on the mountain. Great job. He takes the round. James Moffat makes it home in second. Not by much, but it is still second. Nevertheless, Craig Baird, 13th to 3rd, and David Russell shadows them home in 4th. Great race for Carrera Cup, and that really whets the appetite before the big race in just over an hour and a half's time.
Yeah, it was a great race. It was, you know, it definitely shows the guys coming from behind, catching the people in the front. So, no, it was definitely a good race.
1 round to go for the Porsches at Indy in 2 weeks' time. How about this guy? James Moffat, first time at the mountain. Bryce Washington recovered. He finished 7th, so he got some championship points. And James Konduras followed him home, the best of the Pilatus Challenge runners, and he is certainly looking strong now to take that championship within a championship. Sean Juniper rounds out the top 10, but the win is with Dean Fiore. It's a Sonic 1-2, Fitzgerald's team 3rd and 4th, and Sonic 5th with Rodney Jane. Sean Juniper rounding out the top 10.